56 Forgiveness, quotes to give up the past and move on. Forgiveness means making a decision to let go of resentment and thoughts of vengeance. The act that hurt you, and it may always happen to you, but forgiveness takes you away from them. It makes you better than any other person. Read here some inspirational forgiveness quotes to letting go of the negativity and to accept positivity. Quotes about forgiveness. 1. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Mahatma Gandhi. 2. Forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a constant attitude. Martin Luther King Jr. 3. True forgiveness is when you can say, "Thank you for that experience." Oprah Winfrey. 4. Forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. Oprah Winfrey. 5. True forgiveness is when you can say, "Thank you for that experience." Oprah Winfrey. 6. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Mark Twain. 7. Forgiveness is an act of the will, and the will can function regardless of the temperature of the heart. Corrie ten Boom. 8. Forgiveness has nothing to do with absolving a criminal of his crime. It has everything to do with relieving oneself of the burden of being a victim, letting go of the pain and transforming oneself from victim to survivor. C.R. Strahan. 9. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. Abraham Lincoln. 10. Throughout life, people will make you mad, disrespect you, and treat you bad. Let God deal with the things they do, 'cause hate in your heart will consume you too. Will Smith. 11. Forgiveness in no way requires that you trust the one you forgive. William Paul Young, The Shack. 12. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. It is about letting go of another person's throat. William Paul Young, The Shack. Famous forgiveness quotes. 13. Forgiveness is not an event. It is a series of decisions made over and over again. Karen Salmonsohn. 14. Forgiving men is so much easier than forgiving women. Margaret Atwood. 15. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door of resentment and the handcuffs of hatred. It is a power that breaks the chains of bitterness and the shackles of selfishness. Corrie ten Boom. 16. One should never do wrong in return, nor mistreat any man, no matter how one has been mistreated by him. Socrates. 17. Forgiveness comes later in life after you've created enough disasters of your own. Matt Johnson, Loving Day. 18. Forgiveness means saying that you're not going to let what happened to you define you any longer. Heidi Priebe. 19. You are forgiven for your happiness and your successes only if you generously consent to share them. Albert Camus. 20. When you forgive, you do not change the past, but you change your future. Camilla Dorand. 21. Forgive yourself for your faults and your mistakes and move on. Les Brown. 22. Forgiveness is the remission of sins. For it is by this that what has been lost and was found is saved from being lost again. Saint Augustine. 23. Forgiveness must be immediate, whether or not a person asks for it. Trust must be rebuilt over time. Trust requires a track record. Rick Warren. 24. Inner peace can be reached only when we practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is letting go of the past and is, therefore, the means for correcting our misperceptions. Gerald G. Jampolsky. Forgiveness quotes and move on. "25. The practice of forgiveness is our most important contribution to the healing of the world." Marianne Williamson. 26. Anger makes you smaller, while forgiveness forces you to grow beyond what you are. Sherry Carter Scott. 27. A broken friendship that is mended through forgiveness can be even stronger than it once was. Stephen Richards. 28. Forgiveness means it finally becomes unimportant that you hit back. Anne Lamott. 29. Despite the sorrows of sin, you can count on God's faithfulness and forgiveness. Jim George. 30. No matter how much you love someone, the capacity of that love is meaningless if it outweighs your capacity to forgive. Colleen Hoover. 31. I guess forgiveness, like happiness, isn't a final destination. You don't one day get there and get to stay. Deb Coletti. 32. Forgiveness means letting go of the hope for a better past. You won't be able to forgive yourself for not doing things differently until you stop wishing things were different. Zoe York. 33. You cannot forgive just once. Forgiveness is a daily practice. Sonia Rumsey. 34. Forgiveness takes intelligence, discipline, imagination, and persistence, as well as a special psychological strength, something athletes call mental toughness and warriors call courage. Edward M. Hollowell. 35. The stupid neither forgive nor forget. The naive forgive and forget. The wise forgive, but do not forget. Thomas Zaz. 36. Forgiveness says you are given another chance to make a new beginning. Desmond Tutu. Buddha quotes on forgiveness. 37. Forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Buddha. 38. To understand everything is to forgive everything. Buddha. Forgive quotes to forgive your enemy. 39. Always forgive your enemies, nothing annoys them so much. Oscar Wilde. 40. It is easier to forgive an enemy than to forgive a friend. William Blake. 41. When you begin to see that your enemy is suffering, that is the beginning of insight. Thich Nhat Hanh. 42. Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names. John F. Kennedy. 43. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. Nelson Mandela. Self-forgiveness quotes. 44. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Suzanne Summers. 45. Discover your deep inner self and from that place spread love in every direction. Amit Ray. 46. It is important that we forgive ourselves for making mistakes. We need to learn from our errors and move on. Steve Maraboli. 47. Forgiveness doesn't make one person better or the other guy smaller. Forgiving is just letting go. It's turning back toward being what we really are. Edward Fahey, The Gardens of Ilana. 48. Forgiveness is not something you do for someone else, it's something you do for yourself. To forgive is not to condone, it is to refuse to continue feeling bad about an injury. Jim Beaver, Life's That Way. 49. Forgiveness is a virtue of the brave. Indira Gandhi. 50. Forgiving yourself, believing in yourself, and choosing to love yourself are the best gifts one could receive. Brittany Bagenda. Love Forgiveness quotes. 51. Forgiveness is the final form of love. Reinhold Niebuhr. 52. Forgiveness is the economy of the heart. Forgiveness saves the expense of anger, the cost of hatred, the waste of spirits. Hannah More. 53. Love may forgive all infirmities and love still in spite of them, but love cannot cease to will their removal. C.S. Lewis. 54. Forgiveness is the final form of love. Reinhold Niebuhr. 55. When you forgive, you love. And when you love, God's light shines upon you. John Krakauer. 56. Forgiveness is the name of love practiced among people who love poorly. The hard truth is that all people love poorly. We need to forgive and be forgiven every day, every hour increasingly. That is the great work of love among the fellowship of the weak, that is the human family. Henri J. M. Nguyen. I hope you liked the above forgiveness quotes. Don't forget to mention the best line that you liked most from the above lines in the